the nature of this job. It keeps members of Congress and senators in Washington so much of the time, too much of the time, to be honest with you, that we don't get to go home and spend more time with our families, our friends, all in our district, or maybe just be regular people, because this job is so demanding and it's turned into practically year-round.
Hi, this is Alonzo Bodden with another Rebel HQ TYT video. Well, so Marjorie goes to Washington and she's miserable. Marjorie, that job keeps you in Washington and takes up all your time and you can't hang out with family and friends. You know what, Marjorie? That's called work. That's what people do. They go to a place to make money and they can't hang out all day with their family and friends. That's kind of how work works, Marjorie. Sure, you could go home and be like regular people and we'd all love it. Go be a regular person. Well, I don't know if you could be a regular person, but hey, go home. No, really, go. You can go home, Marjorie. Go.
And for those of us in the House of Representatives, we have to run for Congress every 2 years. So you're practically campaigning nearly the entire time that you're here serving as a representative.
Marjorie, you don't have to run every 2 years. No, really, you don't. You don't have to run again at all. As for campaigning full time, you mean like that nationwide tour you did with Matt Gaetz? Hey, Marjorie, only people in Georgia can vote for you. Why they vote for you, I'd never know, but they're the only ones who can. So if you go on a nationwide tour, that isn't campaigning. That's just feeding your ego. As for those social clubs, do you mean the insurrectionists or QAnon? Which social club didn't you join? Because you seem to be a member of both of them. And finally, Marjorie, you think being in Congress makes you miserable? You should see how it makes us feel. Why should we be the only ones miserable about you, Marjorie? If we have to be miserable, you have to be miserable. Them's the rules.
Becoming a member of Congress has made my life miserable. I made a lot more money before I got here. I've lost money since I've gotten here. I have people come up to me and say crazy things to me out of the blue in public places that they believe because they read it on the internet or saw it on some news show about me.
So, Marjorie, you're losing money in Congress. Well, you seem to have made money on the insider trading deal when you bought defense stock right before the Russia-Ukraine war started. Now, you did lose money on Truth Social, but that's because you fell for the con, Marjorie. You supported Trump, and I know he's a stable genius, but he's also a con man, and part of his con is getting people who make less money than him to give him money. You fell for it. So, people are walking up to you saying crazy things they heard on the internet. What kind of crazy things did they hear on the internet, Marjorie? Perhaps that Jewish space lasers started the fires in California, or perhaps they heard that the Clintons killed JFK Jr. That would be pretty crazy. What about a school in Illinois that got $5.1 billion in federal money to teach CRT? One school, $5.1 billion. That sounds pretty crazy. Then there's the thing about all Democrats support pedophiles. That sounds absolutely nuts. And finally, that theory that the 2020 election wasn't real. Does any of this crazy sound familiar? Because all of this crazy came from you. And that's crazy you said in public. I can't imagine the crazy you say in private.
So it's not a life that I think is like something that I enjoy because I don't enjoy it, but I'm committed to this job because I believe in it.
Bottom line, Marjorie, if going to work makes you miserable, quit. That's what people do, Marjorie. They quit if their job makes them miserable. You don't like going to Washington. You don't like going to work every day. You don't like being away from your friends. Not that we believe you have friends, but let's play along with the story. You don't like any of that? You can quit. You can go back to Georgia. Get back in your CrossFit. Oh, that's right. You can't get back in your CrossFit business, can you? Because CrossFit won't have you. Imagine that. CrossFit won't have you. But here's the thing, Marjorie. You like to be committed. And I'm sure if you left Congress and you went back to Georgia, there are people there who would have you committed. Try it. It's fun.